And thank you to everybody that contributed with comments. I do want to, before we get kind of into a board discussion, I do want to just mention, appreciate, as I said before, all the comments, definitely recognize, respect, and sympathize with some of the stories and obviously the threat to public safety and health. And, definitely welcomed and appreciated the comments from the legislators. Always welcome to come in and provide any type of comment. So, before I go into opening up to board discussion, I do want to turn it over to Ms. Stallkamp, if she's available, to just talk through some pathways and some ideas for the board to consider before we have conversation. Jennifer, are you able to jump on?
I'm here, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks.
I am in the room here with Marcy.
Okay, I don't see you, so.
I'm hiding up next to the TV, but so I turned my camera on so you could see me. So the board has several options. You can pursue rulemaking if you should desire. I do respectfully disagree with Mr. Austin on the board's ability to regulate in this space. You can take no action and defer to the legislature, or you can continue to gather more information and sort of wait and see what happens with the legislative process as it plays out over the next several months. And as I mentioned earlier, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Marcy and I have been hard at work on finding you background information to complete that 8-factor analysis that you're required to do if you are going to schedule drugs. And then as well, we've been in contact with our economists and distributors who would be subject to an economic impact. So you could do the economic impact analysis required when you do rulemaking. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. And I think that gives us a jumping off point. I guess I'll just start with the fact that the committees have been formed and 3 committees, to my knowledge, and discussions have begun. I think that's a very positive step forward for the state of Montana. And it gives me hope that the public safety and threat is being taken serious. And, I just appreciate the efforts thus far. So I'll open it up now to the board for discussion. Paul, Logan, Kristen, Michelle, and Gail, anything you want to add at this point in time?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this is Paul Brand, pharmacist member. I'd just like to say it was a great discussion on both sides. And although, action looks like our last meeting garnered a lot of attention, there's been 3 legislative committees. And I feel like specifically the one with the Department of Justice is far more appropriate way to address this than the Board of Pharmacy, since we really have no inspection authority over these places. That's just my thoughts.
Thank you, Paul. Logan, any additional comments from you?
Yeah, Logan Tinson, pharmacist board member. I would agree with Paul. I'm happy that our discussion in December garnered a lot more interest. I empathize with those that had very moving testimony today. But I do feel like that there is a path for us, but I think the better path is for this to go through the legislature and work its way through that way.
Thanks, Logan. Michelle, any comments?
I just wanted to thank everyone for their time and input on this matter. I don't have anything more to add. Thank you.
Gail?
Thank you. I agree with comments from Logan and Paul, and appreciate too the testimony from many people who have deep hurts over this. But I suggest going forward as Logan and Paul have suggested.
Thank you. And Kristen, thanks, Gail. Kristen, any comments beyond what was already spoken to?
No, just, concur with the gratitude to those who came and spoke to us today and shared your side of the aisle. I think it's important to hear and have the discussion, but I do agree with Paul and with Logan.
Okay. I'm in agreement as well, just for the record. I think the legislation and the legislative action is our the best path forward at this point in time. And I do recommend that we just take up the recommendation from staff and council on moving forward with that approach on Kratom. Marcy, I don't believe we need any form of motion at this point in time for that. Am I correct?
Correct. I would just offer to supplement what the board has discussed, our great appreciation and sympathy for the comments that we've received, for those that have had a loss in their family, but also for those that have found benefit from the product. And then general support that seems to focus in on the synthetic 7-OH and variations of that being regulated and moving forward. I think the board, and I want our legislators to know that the board can be a resource for the legislators and the interim committees moving forward if there's something that we can assist with. But with 3 interim committees looking at this and a comprehensive bill in discussion with stakeholders, we're happy to monitor and, again, be a resource as needed. With the information that we've received, I just offer to the public that just because you have provided your information here, I think you should know that there's now going to be an ongoing legislative process for you to provide your information. So the discussion in Montana does not stop here. It just is moving over to the legislative authority pathway. We will support that. And for our legislative colleagues, we will provide any information that we can in assistance based on these public meetings that we've had with the discussions of Kratom. For those of you that have submitted information to us, consider doing that with the legislative process and providing that similar type of comment to the committees. I'll stop there and see if anyone has any questions for me on all that. No, but again, we do not need a motion. The board is just choosing not to take an action and to be a resource for the process as we monitor the status as it moves forward to the 2027 legislative session starting in January of 27. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Marcy. Thanks for everybody's time on that. That should allow us to move forward to agenda